everybody. Good Monday morning to everyone. Hope your week is off to a good start. And we're going to start the week off in this replay from Yankee Stadium. Another game the second game of the May 27th schedule, number 303 on the replay. The Seattle Mariners taking on the New York Yankees from Yankee Stadium. Charles Hudson on the mound for the Yankees against Scott Bankhead, a couple of right-handers. Hudson 5-1 on the replay, Bankhead 2-3. There you see the starting lineups. Yankees coming to the game 28-16. Seattle comes in with the exact opposite record, 16-28. So not the best matchup in the world, but it's on the schedule, so that's why we play it. Yankee Stadium, singles are 7s for lefties and righties. Home runs, lefties 9, righties 8. Hello, Jeff, ID, and Dr. D. Got an ID and a Dr. D. We got 2 D's in here. How about that? ID, I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm not a Yankee hater. I could care less. We just play what's on the schedule. You got that right, Bob. No question about it. And in case you weren't around for last night's game between the Yankees and the Dodgers in the inside pitch world, I'm not inside pitch, in the season ticket 1978 World Series. I will also be playing in real time, or just about real time, the 2025 World Series, whoever that happens to be. In History Maker Baseball, I've got all 4 of the teams still in it created and ready to go. So once the World Series gets determined and the 26-man rosters get assigned, I'll pick out those players off those teams and get the teams together. And then once game 1 is played, I will, the next day, we'll replay that game 1 using those exact lineups. So it's not going to be a pre-play. I'm going to play along with it right after the fact to see how the game does, because I don't want my lineups or managing to distort what's History Maker Baseball might replicate. So that's what we're going to do. Demolition League's not going anywhere. That's still around. That will be played intermittently as well. So just want to give those programming notes a little heads up. Let's see. I think I've got this. Trying to get as close to the cards as I can without losing anything on the peripheries here on the right-hand side. Trying to adjust where my webcam is based on playing season ticket last night. Different setup because season ticket cards are bigger, easier to see. Whereas Stratomatic cards, I feel like I have to get a little closer for you guys to be able to see what's going on. Hello, Chuck. Good to see you. All right, so Charles Hudson, let's get more of his numbers in detail on the replay. Well, first of all, in real world, he was 11-7 with a 3.61 ERA. On the replay, he's 5-1 with a 3.33 earned run average. 49 innings pitched, 34 hits, 20 walks, and 42 strikeouts. And, of course, before anything else happens with the game, the standard equipment has to include a warm cup of coffee, which is what I have. And now we are ready to go officially. John Moses, the center fielder for Seattle. On the replay, he's hitting 226, 2 homers, 20 driven in. He hit 246 real world, and we're underway from Yankee Stadium. That's a 5-6 against the switch hitter batting left. That's a 1-11 for a double. How about that? A leadoff double for John Moses against Hudson, who had been one of the Yankees' best pitchers in the replay so far. But Moses will hit him for a leadoff double. Here's Phil Bradley. He's kind of been struggling on the replay, only hitting 210, 4 homers, 13 driven in. He hit 297 real world. First havoc roll, nothing happening. Bradley, 3-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Phil Bradley out on strikes. One away. Brings up the other Bradley, Scott Bradley. No relation between the two. Hello, Pete. Good to see you. Scott Bradley on the replay, the catcher, is hitting 280. No homers, 13 driven in. He hit 278 real world. That's a 2. Got a chance of a balk or pass ball. Hudson's balk rating's a 0. Skinner's pass ball rating is only a 1. So no matter what we roll here, the likelihood of either one of those happening is not very much. That's a 1, so Hudson has no balk, so no worries there. Here's Bradley, 1-5, and that's a ground ball, second base A. That'll get the runner to third. So Moses will take third, but now there are 2 away, and it's going to be all up to the cleanup man, big designated hitter Ken Phelps, if the Mariners are going to come through in the first inning. It is a clutch situation, and in the clutch, he gains a hit on a 3-10. Everything else for him is neutral, but he does gain the hit on 3-10. On the replay, Phelps hitting 234, 8 homers, 25 driven in. He hit 259 in the real season. So Hudson to Phelps with Moses at third and 2 outs. And, of course, the white die gets hung up, so we're going to re-roll that again. That is a 2-7, and that's going to be a walk. That's something that Phelps does quite a bit. Look at his column 2 here. He's loaded with walks. And on the real season, he walked 80 times in only 332 at-bats. So a lot of walks. So all he did was pass the baton to Alvin Davis, and, of course, Phelps not going to be held. Davis hitting 289, 7 homers, 21 driven in. He hit 295 real world. Alvin Davis. That's a 2-8 for Davis. 1-7's a double. The double die strikes early with a 2. It's a double, but it's only 2 stars. So Phelps has to hold at third. But the Mariners jump to a 1-0 lead as Alvin Davis comes through in the clutch with a double. And they're looking for more. The hound dog, Jim Presley, is up. Second and third, 2 outs in the clutch for Presley. He loses the hit on 2-3. Everywhere else he's neutral. On the replay, Presley hitting 220. 10 homers, 34 driven in. He at 247 real world. Presley trying to cash in Phelps and Davis from the base pass. 6 and 10 is a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Mike Pagliarulo. He's a 2E20. 2 and 11 should be okay. 2 and 11 is a G1, and it's a third baseman E20. That is a 12. E20. There's an 11, but no 12. So Pagliarulo makes the play to end the inning, but the Mariners do get a run, and they will take a 1-0 lead going to the bottom of the first, turning that over to Scott Bankhead, their right-hander. Bankhead on the real season was 9 and 8 with a 5.42 earned run average. In the replays, 2 and 3 with a 4.75 earned run average. 61 innings pitched, 51 hits, 15 walks, and 30 strikeouts. And leading things off will be Rickey Henderson, again in the DH position. He may have had some real world dings that they didn't want him to play in the outfield, so he's in the designated hitter position, and Gary Ward's in center field. All right, so Henderson on the replay hitting 325, 7 homers, 24 driven in. He at 291 real world. 1-6, and that's going to be a 1 for a triple, but anything else he flies to left. So Rickey will fly it out to Bradley. 1 away. It's a good idea if you are Bankhead to keep Rickey off the bases. Here's Willie Randolph. He's hitting 289 on the replay, a homer and 18 driven in. He hit 305 real world. So 310, and that's going to be a fly to center, handled by Moses, 2 down. And that brings up Donnie Baseball. He is hitting 305 on the replay, 9 homers, 30 driven in. 327 real world in the real world. 4-4 lefty is a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Moses. He's at 2E5, so he should get to this. 2-20 he does, and that's an 11. E5, I don't think 11 will be a problem. E5, nope, 4, 16, and 17. So no problems there. 3 up and 3 down for Bankhead. 3 casual fly balls takes care of the Yankees in the first. We go to the second, 1-0 Seattle. As this whole week in Stratomatic on the mornings will be dedicated to finishing out the May 27th date. There's a lot of games to play. So we got 4 more after this one. It's going to go East Coast to West Coast. geographically to play, and that's the order to play them in. Right now, a lot of the West Coast teams are on the East Coast, so we're hitting a lot of East Coast cities early. All right, here is Mike Kingery. He's in right field. 264 average, 4 homers, 14 driven in. In fact, tomorrow's game will be in Baltimore. It'll be the California Angels and the Baltimore Orioles. Haven't had the Orioles on the stream for a few games. So we're going to bring them back, and they're going to be playing the California Angels. 2-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to first. One away. So we'll be at Old Memorial Stadium for the game between the Angels and the Orioles tomorrow morning. Here's Ray Quinones. He's hitting 221, a homer and 17 driven in. Hit 276 real world. That's a 5-7, and that's ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Tollison. 3E22 for Tollison. 3 and a 7 should be okay, I would assume. Nobody's on base to be held, so no problems there. He is an E22, and that is a 9. Shortstop E22. There's a 6 and a 15, but no 9. So it's going to be a good play. Nice play for Tollison. 2 up and 2 down. And that will send up Mr. Harold Reynolds, Mr. Baseball Tonight himself, Harold Reynolds. He's hitting 263 on the replay. No homers, 7 driven in. He at 275 real world. It's a 2-4. He's going to ground it right back to Hudson for an easy 1-2-3 inning. The ball never left the infield. So we go to the bottom of the second, still 1-0 Mariners. But back come the Yankees to see what they can do. Leading off will be Gary Ward playing center field. He is a 4 in center, so that could cause him some problems if we have center field X's. You don't like having a 4 rated outfielder in center field, but that's what we got. So here is Gary Ward. On the replays, hitting 229, 4 homers, 17 driven in. He at 248 real world. 3-7, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 1 for Bankhead. As he strikes out Gary Ward. And that'll bring up Mr. May, Dave Winfield, and we are in May, so he should be tearing it up, right? He's hitting 254 on the replay, 7 homers, 25 driven in. He at 275 real world. 1-9, and he's going to fly it to center field for Moses, who's made his 3rd put out of the game already. 2 down. And Danny Pasqua. Pasqua, left fielder, hitting 248, 8 homers, 17 driven in. He at 233 real world. That's a 3-5, and that's going to be a walk. So a 2-out walk is issued to Dan Pasqua. He's not going to be held. And here's Mike Pagliarulo, third baseman. He is hitting 273 on the replay, 12 homers, 26 driven in. He only hit 234 real world, so he's been doing very well for himself. Nothing on the havoc. 2-8, and that's going to be a ground ball to third, and that will end the inning. So nothing doing for the Yankees. We go to the 3rd inning, and we got a 1-0 Mariner lead. Top of the order coming up for the Mariners will be Moses, Bradley, and Bradley against Mr. Hudson. First time up, Moses doubled and scored. It's a 1-8. This time he'll ground it to Mattingly. He'll take it to the bag himself. And there's 1 away. For Phil Bradley, the only strikeout for Hudson was Bradley. 1-8, and he's going to strike him out again. So Phil Bradley 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Continues to struggle on the replay. Here's the other Bradley, Scott Bradley. 111, and he's going to pop it up to Mattingly. So an easy 1-2-3 inning for Hudson. He's now retired 7 in a row since the Alvin Davis RBI double. And in fact, the last 7 in a row that are outs, the ball has never left the infield. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd, bottom portion of the Yankee order. Looking at Joel Skinner. Wayne Tollison, and then back to Ricky. Skinner on the replay hitting 192, 3 homers, 12 driven in, but he only hit 137 real world, so he's actually doing better. 2-7, but he's going to strike out here. Second strikeout for Bankhead. And that'll take us to shortstop Wayne Tollison. Tollison hitting 176 on the replay, 2 homers, 14 driven in. He only hit 221 real world. 6'5", switch hitter. And that's an in-home run, but he's got weak power. So even if it's successful, he will not get it. 1-12, that's a 5. So he actually got a bad break. He would have got a triple down here, but up here it's just going to be a single because of the weak power. So it will be a single for Tollison. First hit for the Yankees. And Tollison, Bankhead's a +1 hold rating combined. He's a -1 with a +2 from Bradley. So Tollison is going to hold there for Ricky Henderson. See what Ricky can do. Flew to left field his first time up. Ricky. 6-6, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-15, and that's gone. Ricky Henderson. Ricky Henderson just hit a 2-run home run, his 8th of the season. Look at it again, 6-6. That's the in-home run chance, 1-15. And that's a 13. So Ricky Henderson, a 2-run home run puts the Yankees in the lead 2-1. Home run number 8 for Ricky. RBIs 25 and 26. Tollison will come in to score in front of him. And it's 2-1 Yankees as they take it to Scott Bankhead. And for Bankhead, that is his. It's only his second home run he's allowed, it looks like, on the replay. So he's done pretty well keeping the ball in the ballpark until then. But the Yankees now lead it 2-1. Hello, Kathy. It's not stormy here, but it is definitely overcast and dreary looking. Temperatures in the low 60s right now. Typical fall day, I would say. Here's Randolph, 311, and that's a ballpark single check. Going to Yankee Stadium for the first time, 1-7, but that's an 8. So he just missed it there. That's going to be a line out to Quinones for the second out of the inning. And that brings up Donnie Baseball with 2 outs and the bases clear. 3-4, and that's another ballpark single check. Again, 1-7. This time it's the 6. So Mattingly gets the break on the ballpark single, and he'll take advantage of it. 2 down for Gary Ward. Ward struck out his first time up. 1-5, and he'll hit a ground ball to short, and they'll just take care of that. But the Yankees, courtesy of Ricky Henderson, hit a 2-run homer and take a 2-1 lead after 3 innings of play at Yankee Stadium over the Mariners. That has given Charles Hudson the lead to work with. And he'll be facing the heart of the order, Bradley, Phelps, and Davis. 3 lefties coming up for the Mariners. Kathy, whatever you want to put out there is fine with me. All right, here's Phelps. 110, and that's going to be a single. Base hit for Phelps. He's reached base twice. No threat to run, will not be held. I'm sorry, that's not Phelps. What am I doing? That should have been Phelps batting, not Bradley. Let's see. 110 is actually going to be a fly ball to right field. So I had the wrong guy up there in the order there. Nothing wrong with the dice roll. We're going to keep the dice roll. So it's just a fly ball to right field. Some people play it where you re-roll the dice, but I don't see any reason to take away a good dice roll when it's already there. So let's good thing for the undo button on the computer is all I can tell you. You can undo that last play, change the single to a fly out to right field, and we're all biscuits and gravy after that. So Phelps is going to be out on the fly to right. And if I'd done it correctly, that's the way it would have turned out to begin with. So I'm not going to penalize anybody for my error. Hello, Sean. Good to see you. Here's Alvin Davis. He had the RBI double his first time up, 411. Fly ball right field X. We're looking at Winfield. He's a 1. You know he's going to get to it. We're just looking at E3. And the only way he makes an error is 3, 15, and 18. If he can avoid those 3 numbers, he's good. And he does. So Winfield will make the play. 2 flyouts to right field to start the 4th. And that brings up the hound dog, Jim Presley. Presley grounded to third his first time up. That's a 4-9, and that's going to be a split chance. A 1's a single, but he's going to line it to Tolleson at short. And now for Hudson, he has now retired 10 in a row since giving up that first inning run. 10 in a row turned in by Hudson. And the Yankees lead it 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. And Mr. May, Dave Winfield, will lead things off. Flew out to center field his first chance. 3-10. This time's a ballpark single, 1-7, and he gets the break. The double die shows up kind, and it's a base hit for Winfield. Leadoff single for Winfield. They will hold Winfield on, but he won't go anywhere. Here's Pasqua. 3-7, and that is a strikeout. Third strikeout for Bankhead as Pasqua whiffs. 1 down for Mike Pagliarulo. He grounded to third his first time up. Uh, 2-7, and that's another strikeout for Bankhead. Strikeout number 4. And that brings up Joel Leonard Skinner. He also struck out his first chance. 4-6, and that's a 1-18 single. So base hit for Skinner. It's only 1 star. So Winfield, despite there being 2 outs, only gets the 1 base. But it does set up a clutch situation for Wayne Tolleson, shortstop, who did single his first time up. And in the clutch, Tolleson will lose a hit on 2-5, 2-9, and 2-10. So definitely anti-clutch in that column too. It's 4-6, however, and that's going to be a single to left field. And they will send Winfield. He's a 16 with 2 outs. He becomes an 18. He was not being held, makes him a 17. I'm sorry, he was being held, makes him a 17. And the base hit went to left field, 0. So it's a 1-17. And they're going to send him. The trail runner Skinner only runs at a 9, so I'm not going to allow him to go to third, even on the throw. So it's just going to be a straight-out play at the plate, 1-17. And he's out at the plate. Wow, Winfield thrown out at the plate by Phil Bradley. What a throw by Bradley. They get Winfield at the plate to end the inning. Unbelievable. That double die comes up when you least expect it. Comes up evil if you are a Yankee fan. Comes up great if you're a Mariner fan. Or if you just are an anti-Yankee. So that's going to do it. The Yankees pick up 3 hits in the inning, but with the play at the plate, they come away empty-handed. At the end of 4 complete, it's still Yankees 2 and Mariners 1. And we are going to the top of the 5th, and Kathy has an emoji. I don't know that much about emojis, but she has some emoji trivia. So if you want to give it a go and see if you can answer it, she'll be providing something for us. Hello, Philip. Just in time for a trivia, Philip. 2-1 Yankees as we wait for the trivia on an emoji. Like I said, I don't know that much about emojis. So, in fact, I know very little about them. But it's a good chance to learn, I guess. A rodent, not a raccoon. Boy, what is that? It's just a rodent, not a raccoon. Boy, I have no idea. I'm not an emoji person, so I am totally stumped on that. I have no idea whatsoever. So we got a clock, a calendar, and a snowflake. So I don't, but it's supposed to be a rodent, not a raccoon. If anybody is knowledgeable on those emojis, you can feel free to chime in. Oh, Groundhog Day. Is that what that's supposed to be? A groundhog, I mean, or whatever. I don't know. When you say Bill Murray, it's the first thing I think of is Groundhog Day. Hey, I got it. It took a big, almost giveaway hint to do it, but hey, we got it. So there you go. Thank you for that, Miss Kathy. Hello, Action. Didn't see you chime in there. All right, here's Mike Kingery, top of the sixth, and Hudson. I'm sorry, top of the fifth, and this is his fatigue, and he's got fatigue of 5. Bankhead has fatigue of 6, but Hudson's a fatigue of 5. So if he gives up anything, we'll keep track. That's a 2-4, but he's not going to do it here. That's a pop out to short, and that's now 11 in a row. Retired by Hudson, so he has righted his ship since giving up 2 hits and a run in the first inning. He has settled things down and not given the Mariners anything. Here's Quinones. Whoa, we got Hoppin' Dice. We're going to re-roll that. 111, and that is a ballpark single check. 1-7. That is a 7, so that's the first base hit for the Mariners since the first inning. And it took Yankee Stadium to do it. So Quinones is aboard. He will not be held. And here is Harold Reynolds. Excellent bunter with already 1 out, though. You don't want to bunt and make it 2 out. So he's going to swing away. 2-8, and that's a 1-14 double. So how about that? A double to center field for Harold Reynolds. Quinones runs at a 13, not being held as a 14. Ward's arms a 0. 1-14, he would score. And if they throw through, Reynolds would get to third. But they're going to send him, and you're going to have to throw through. You can't. A 1-14. That's just too much to let that just slide and not make a play. So throwing to the plate. So either way, Harold Reynolds will get the third on the throw, regardless, one way or the other. But for the play at the plate, it's a 1-14. He's a 13, not being held as a 14, a 0 arm from Ward. So 1-14, he is safe. And he's out at the plate. Wow, another double die shows up with another large amount. That's going to go 8-6-2. Like I said, Reynolds will take third, but that's a bad break there for the Mariners. Gary Ward hit the cutoff man in stride, and Tolleson was able to relay it to Skinner to get the out. Oh, wrong button here. Let's see here. All right. So that's going to put a kibosh on a lot of things. Now there's 2 outs and Reynolds at third. And now he still has to deal with John Moses in a clutch situation. And Moses in the clutch loses that 1 hit on 2-9. Everywhere else he is neutral. 6-6 switch hitter batting left, and that's a 1-19 single, so they're going to get the run anyway, but could have been a lot more runs, but they do get the run here on the base hit from Moses to tie the game. And we are tied at 2. Now, Moses has a chance to grab the lead, but Hudson is a -2, so it'll only be a 1-11 chance, so they're going to not steal, but Yankees are going to have to hold him, but he's not going to try for any attempted steals. Here's Phil Bradley. That's a 3-9 for Bradley, and that's a ground ball to short to end the inning. But the Mariners tie it on the base hit by John Moses. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and for Hudson, he's on the verge of fatigue. He is fatigued now, according to the computer. He is fatigued, so that might be it for him. That base hit he gave up to Moses made him fatigued. That's going to probably do it for Hudson. So we'll get the final numbers on Hudson, particularly with lefties coming up next inning. The Yankees will make a move to the bullpen for the top of the 6th. We'll get the final numbers on Hudson. He's going to go 5 innings, give up 5 hits. Wait a minute, why is it only showing 1 run here? because I didn't do the last calculation right. That's why. All right. Oh, I see what happened. When I did the out, I didn't move Reynolds to third like I should have. So let's put Reynolds at third where he needs to be. So I need to go back and redo that double by Reynolds in the computer so that I can accurately put the base runners where they're supposed to be. I was so worried about getting the out right, I forgot to move Reynolds to third on the overthrow. Now we'll get it right here, 8-6-2. And then the RBI single will take care of that to bring home Reynolds, and that will give him the accurate amount. And then Bradley grounds to short to end the inning. All right, now we can get the accurate amount for Mr. Hudson. Hudson, 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs they were earned, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. He could qualify for the win if the Yankees take the lead this inning. Other than that, he will get a no decision. And the Yankees will most likely go to a left-hander, Bob Shirley. Bob Shirley. Their left-hander. And Shirley, who later goes to Kansas City, Bob Shirley has a relief rating of 4, so he can pitch a lot of innings. So Bob Shirley will be on in the 6th. But right now, Rickey Henderson steps to the plate to face Bankhead. And we got another emoji coming at the end of this inning, so be on the lookout for that. Bottom of the 5th, Rickey leading things off. He homered his last time up. 6-8, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X Quinones, 3E31. Let's see, 4 and a 6. I'm sorry, 3 and a 31. So 3 and an 8. 3 and an 8 will be no problem. He will get that with a G3. That's a 10. Usually don't get many errors on 10s. In this case, you don't on E31. So it's a good play for Quinones. For 1 away. Here's Willie Randolph. And we get a 1-5 for Randolph, and that's a ground ball to short. Once again, this time much easier play for Quinones. 2 down for Donnie Baseball. 1 for 2. 2-4, and that's a ground ball right back to Bankhead. So Bankhead, a 1-2-3 inning. And at the end of 5 complete, we are all tied up at 2 apiece here at Yankee Stadium. And we head to the top of the 6th, and Kathy has another puzzler for us on the emojis. See if we can get it without needing a clue, but we might. Depends. So check out the chat and see what we got for an emoji question. And while she does that, Bob Shirley will be throwing his warm-up tosses to get ready for the 6th. Okay, boy, we got a lot of stuff here. Wow. Titanic. That's a good guess, Mike. Looks like a boat and ice and death and a love story. That's probably about right. Yep, there you go. Excellent work there. Excellent work. Titanic. All right. So we go to the top of the 6th with our new pitcher. We'll bring him in on the computer. That being Bob Shirley for the Yankees. Shirley, we'll check out what he's done real world and on the computer. Real world, Bob Shirley 1-0 with a 6.31 earned run average. On the replay, he is 3-1 with 2 saves and a 5.76 earned run average. 25 innings pitched, 26 hits, 12 walks, and 14 strikeouts. So he'll be facing Scott Bradley, lefty on lefty. Got 3 lefties coming up. Bradley, Phelps, and Davis. 2-4. And that's going to be a ballpark single check, 1-7, but this time that fails, so he's going to pop it up to Mattingly. 1 away. And that brings up Ken Phelps, the big guy. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out. 5-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Tollison, 3E22 for Tollison. 3-7 should be okay. 3-7 is G3, and he is a E22, and that's a 15. But there's a 15 right here on the E22, so Tollison's going to boot it right there. 2 errors on E15 for 1 base error, 6 and 15, and he found the 15. So Tollison will boot it. E6. And that will put Phelps at first base with 1 away for Alvin Davis. Davis doubled in the first, flew out in the fourth. 3-11, lefty on lefty. It's a pop out to short. This time Tollison will make the play. 2 down. And that will send it to the hound dog, Jim Presley. Presley is 0 for 2. But that was against Hudson. Now he gets to face the lefty Shirley. 6-11, and that is a ballpark single check. 1-7, but that's a 12. So the line out to short, and Tollison will make that play as well. So Shirley pitches around the error on Tollison and takes care of the Mariners. As we go to the bottom of the 6th, still tied at 2. And this is the fatigue inning for Bankhead. He has a fatigue of 6. So we'll keep an eye on that. It'll be Ward, Winfield, and Pasqua due up for the Yankees. 6-6, and that's going to be a 1-15 home run, and that is gone. Look at it again. Gary Ward just clouts a go-ahead home run. Look at it again. 6-6 on Bankhead is an in-home run chance, 1-15. That's a 12, and Ward has normal power. So Gary Ward puts the Yankees back in the lead, 3-2, with the home run, and that is his 5th home run of the replay, RBI number 18. And the Yankees lead it 3-2. So Hudson goes away with a no decision. Now, Bob Shirley is the pitcher of record. Here's Winfield, 1-11, and that's a clutch situation, but we're not in that, so it's just a fly to center. And there's 1 away. 1 down, and that sends us to Danny Pasqua. He's walked and struck out. 5-3. It's a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Bradley. He's a 2E5. 2-14. He'll get to that. E5, and that's an 11. I'm sorry, E5, and that's a 9. Shouldn't be an issue. Nope. 14, 18, and 4 are the errors, not 9. So actually, that's a fly to left. Bradley. Bill Bradley will make the play. 2 down for Pagliarulo. 2-9, and he's going to pop it up to first. Alvin Davis is there, but the home run from Ward gives the Yankees a 3-2 lead after 6 complete from the stadium. There will be a 7th inning stretch break because I do need to heat up my coffee. So at the end of this half inning, there will be a 7th inning stretch break. And then after that, we'll have another emoji question that can come up before we start the bottom of the 7th. So we now have, actually I've got the wrong, yeah, we're top of the 7th. Okay, I was thinking bottom half. Never mind. Another lefty, Mike Kingery, stepping up to the plate. That's a 4-6 lefty on lefty. It's a pop out to short. Tollison is there. So a lot of plays made by Tollison here in the last couple of outs. 1 away, and here's Quinones. 2-4 for Quinones, and that's a ground ball to Pagliarulo. 2 down. So Bob Shirley doing well so far. And that brings up Harold Reynolds. 2-9 against the lefty. That's a single. That's anti-clutch, but there's nobody on base. So there are 2 outs, but no one's on base. So he will get the single, and he's going to see if he can get a lead here. However, Shirley is a -4, and that could put a kibosh on a lot of things with that -4 hold rating. Let's see, Reynolds is an 18, so if he got the lead, it would be a 1-12 to get in scoring position. But I think you have to try to get in scoring position so a single can score you, not an extra base hit. So he's going to try to get the lead. 2 through 6 or a 9 gets him the lead. 10, he doesn't get the lead, so it's all a moot point anyway. All right, here's John Moses. He's 2 for 3, a single and a double. 6-5, and that's a line out to second base. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. So line out to Randolph, and that will end the inning. The single from Reynolds goes for naught. And we will head to the 7th inning stretch. We'll let Kathy do her emoji, and then we'll take our 7th inning stretch break. And I will go heat up my coffee. But if you want to pay attention to the chat box and see what emojis are coming up, you can do that. Hello, Bart. Good to see you. We'll get Bankhead ready for the bottom of the 7th. In the meantime, and we'll see what's going on here. As we wait for the emoji. Also notice I might need to raise this up a bit because we're starting to lose a little bit of the peripherals here. So we'll try to keep that in place so we can see the cards as well. So Kathy, whenever you're ready, you can go right ahead with your emoji. Unless you want to do it right before the top of the 8th, I'm not sure. But you have the floor if you wish. In fact, let's combine these two things. Why don't we? We'll go ahead and do the 7th inning stretch, and you can do the emoji in the middle of the 7th inning stretch. You can do 2 things at one time. It's like walking and chewing gum. So, bottom of the 7th we go, 7th inning stretch. Time to take a stretch break. Time for me to heat my coffee. And in the meantime, you can stand by for Kathy's emoji question, and we'll get all that wrapped up when we come back after the 7th inning stretch. So, sing, take me out to the ball game. Top 8, she said. Okay. All right, we are back. coffee is warmed up and ready to go. Emoji question will be at the top of the 8th. So after this bottom of the 7th, we'll get an emoji question. Scott Bankhead still has some endurance. He gave up the 1 home run, but that was it. So he still got some endurance, and we will move on to the bottom of the 7th. Joel Skinner, 1 for 2 on the replay. On the ball game. 5-10, and that's a ballpark single. 1-7. Devil Tie shows up again. Base hit for Joel Skinner. And now Tollison might be thinking about bunting here. He's a B bunter. Corners are in, expecting it. Turns him into a C bunter, but he's still going to bunt. Even though he's 2 for 2, he's going to bunt. He's a C bunter. So the bunt is going to go to number 4, which according to the bunt chart, on a 4 is the first baseman. So it's going to Alvin Davis. And he's a C bunter, so he basically needs an 8 or less to have a good bunt. That's a 9. That's a 1 ball and 2 strike count. So they're going to try it again. This time the bunt's going to go toward the pitcher. Still needs an 8 or less. Gets a 7, so that's a good sacrifice. So the sacrifice is completed. Call it 1-4 with Reynolds covering first base. But the productive out from Tollison, sacrifice bunt, puts Skinner in scoring position with 1 out. Although Skinner does not run well, but he's a good defensive catcher, and they don't want to lose that, so they're not going to pinch run for him. But Ricky says you don't need to pinch run for him. I'm going to give him extra bases or something so he can jog home. Ricky is 1 for 3 with a homer. Whoa, we got a hopping dice here. Let's redo this. 1-6 for Ricky, and that's a 1 for a triple, but anything else he flies to left, and that's 2 away. So 2 down for Willie Randolph. Clutch situation for Randolph. And in the clutch, he gains a hit on a 1-3. Everything else, he is neutral. That's a 1. Bankhead's wild pitch rating is a 3. No wild pitch. 4-8 against Bankhead is a ballpark blast. Willie Randolph, though, has weak power, but it would be good enough to get the run home if it's successful. It is 1-8, but that's a 17. So it will just be a fly to left to end the inning. So Bankhead pitches around that, and that's going to be it for Bankhead. They're going to cap him at 7 innings. So nothing doing for the Yankees here. We go to the 8th inning. Stand by now for an emoji trivia while I get the totals on Bankhead from the computer. All right, let's see what we got here. Can anybody figure this one out from this emoji? Like a shark, a wave. I can't. My eyes aren't that good anymore. Somebody swimming with the sharks. I mean, I have no idea. There's a wave there too, or something. So I don't know. Somebody has a better guess than me, I'm sure. Sharknado, that's a possibility. That was a interesting set of movies that came out. As long as it's got a cult thing. Let's see. No on Sharknado and no on Swimming with the Sharks. So let's see. I don't know. Jaws. Jeff guesses Jaws. Oh, there you go. Kathy just gave it away with the clue. We'll need a bigger boat. So Jeffrey got it without the clue, actually. Jaws came in before her clue came in. So actually, Jeff should be credited with the full correct answer. because he got it without the hint. All right, thank you for that one, Kathy. Jaws, and of course, it recently had the 50th anniversary movie. I think they even brought it out back in the theaters briefly because it was a 50th anniversary. I remember it because I was 10 years old and at the beach when we saw that movie. So as a 10-year-old kid in the movie theater at the beach and then having to go out in the ocean that afternoon, or the next day, I should say. That was a little bit interesting for a 10-year-old. So we were just on vacation when it came out, I guess, back in that, it was 50 years ago. So what do I remember? I just remember going there at the beach. That's all I can remember. All right, here's Phil Bradley against Shirley, 210. Left-handed. That is a single to left field for Phil Bradley. Leadoff single for Bradley. And now the tying run is on base. And the Yankee bullpen starting to stir. Bradley is a great base stealer as far as, if you're looking at the AA, that gives you kind of rating plus the 19. So he needs a 2 through 5 to get the lead. And he does get the lead. So he'd be a 19. Being held as a 17. The -4 is a 13. 1 to 13, he's going to steal it. And he's in there. It's possible throwing error on Skinner. He's a T8. But Skinner does not throw it away. But it will be a stolen base for Phil Bradley. Big steal there. Gets him into scoring position with nobody out. And Scott Bradley, the batter. But they want to leave Shirley in there to face these lefties. Now, if they pinch hit for Bradley, you can assure there will be a right-handed alternative there. So I think the Mariners are going to stick with Scott Bradley on this to prevent the Yankees from bringing in a righty. That's a 6-4 left-handed. That's a ballpark single check, 1 to 7, but that's a 13. So that's a fly to right, and there's one away. That'll bring up the DH Ken Phelps. They're not going to pinch hit for him. Not when you got that kind of power. You could give the Mariners the lead with one swing of the bat. 2-8, but he's going to walk. That's something he does well also. So he will draw the base on balls. Will Phelps. Now they will run for Phelps. They will bring in a pinch runner so that he, as the go-ahead run, has a faster runner on base. So they will bring in Rich Renteria to run, and he will stay in the game to play DH. So Renteria will be the pinch runner for Seattle. That gives them good speed on the base paths. Phil Bradley and Renteria on the base paths. With only one out, and Alvin Davis the batter. This will be the last batter Shirley will face, as the Yankees have right-handed action in their bullpen. And loosening in the Yankee bullpen is going to be right-hander Tim Stoddard. He's basically the only right-hander they have because Cecilio Guante is not on the roster at the moment. So I'm not sure if he's injured or what happened to him, but Stoddard is loosening in the bullpen. Tim Stoddard will be ready to go to face Presley right after Shirley pitches to Davis. So first and second, one out. Lefty on lefty matchup. 4-4 is a ground ball third base X. This is Pagliarulo. They have a chance to maybe turn a double play, get out of the inning. 2-E-20. 2-11. He still might get the G1. 2-11. He does get a G1. That is a 9, and he's an E20. E20. There's no 9 there, so it's going to be a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. And what a job by Bob Shirley. And now they set this up for Righetti in the 9th. They're not going to mess with Stoddard. They're going straight to Righetti in the 9th. So Shirley's going to go 2 innings. And let's see, he's going to give up. Actually, he's going to go 3 innings. I take that back. He went 3 innings. Did Shirley. And he's only going to give up 2 hits and no runs. And let's see about the walks and strikeouts. 1 walk, no strikeouts. But that's going to set it up for Dave Righetti in the 9th inning for the Yankees. But before we get there, we have to resolve the bottom of the 8th, and Seattle will need a new pitcher to face Don Mattingly, Gary Ward, and Winfield. So we'll go to the Seattle bullpen, see what they've got to offer. And coming up, let's see, we got lefty and 2 righties. So they might actually go to a right-hander on this. See who's got the most rest. Not sure if we want to go there. Let's go here. They're going to go, actually, we'll go to a left-hander, Bill Wilkinson. So they will turn to Bill Wilkinson, a left-hander. Left-handed pitcher, Bill Wilkinson. Bill Wilkinson, the left-hander. Wilkinson was 3-4, 3.66 ERA in real world. And he also had 10 saves in the real season. We'll see what he's done on the replay, as Wilkinson will be coming on to try to keep the score where it is. So we bring Wilkinson in and get his numbers. On the replay, it's 1-1 with a save, 4.34 earned run average, 19 innings pitched, 18 hits, 5 walks, and 19 strikeouts. That's interesting, Kathy. I don't know what YouTube's algorithms are, but I didn't censor it, so it had to be something on YouTube because I didn't even know you were doing it or trying to do it. So I'm not sure what's going on with YouTube there, but that must have been a Psycho thing, I guess, for the movie. 4-9, lefty on lefty. It's a fly to center, and there's one away as Mattingly is retired. I'll bring up Gary Ward. He homered his last time up to give the Yankees the lead. 5-9. That's a strikeout this time. Wilkinson gets him on K's. 2 down for Mr. May, Dave Winfield. Whoa, wow, that's never happened. How many times has that ever happened to you, Jeff? That's very, very weird. In fact, I need to move this over probably because I don't know if you can see it very well on the thing here, but the D20, the devil die, is burying the D6. I need to move this over a little bit more because I think you can't see all the rolls there. But the D20 is right on top of the D6, so we're going to re-roll that. All the dice have to be flat in the tray to count, so we're going to redo this one. 1-5 for Winfield, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-8. And the double dies a 3, so Winfield on the re-roll catches a break and hits a home run. Mr. May coming through in May, and he's done it. Dave Winfield, look at it again on the replay. 1-5 against the left-hander is a ballpark blast. Yankee Stadium 1-8, and the double dies a 3. And, of course, Winfield has the normal power. That's home run number 8 on the replay for Winfield. RBI number 26, and that's a key insurance run brought in by the Yankees. They now lead it 4-2. And here's Danny Pasqua. That's a 5-6, and he strikes out. But the damage done on Wilkinson, he goes 1 inning and gives up the home run. Does strike out 2, but that's a moot point at this point as the Yankees lead it now 4-2 as we go to the top of the 9th. And it will be Rags time. Ragtime Band is coming out for Dave Righetti. Righetti on the real season, 8-6. Well, first of all, let's put all the numbers into the computer so I can get to Righetti and get him in the game. So Righetti relieving Bob Shirley, who did yeoman work. Righetti coming on in the real season. Righetti was 8-6 with 31 saves and a 3.51 earned run average. On the replay, he is 1-1 with 9 saves and a 4.38 earned run average. 25 innings pitched, 24 hits, 10 walks, and 13 strikeouts. It will be the Hound Dog, Jim Presley. Let's see, Righetti is a -5 hole, so that's going to put a kibosh on any thoughts of stealing, probably. So Presley is on. Presley is on to face Righetti. That's a 210, left-handed, and that's a ballpark single check, but that's a 20. So it's just going to be a ground ball to Tollison, and that's one away. So a big first out to get for Righetti. That'll bring up Kingery, but he's a lefty, and he will be called back, and they will bring in John Christensen, a right-hander. Right-handed hitting outfielder John Christensen will hit for Kingery. So Christensen on the real season hit 242 in 132 at-bats. We'll see what he's done on the replay, but they are playing the percentages. Bringing in Christensen to pinch hit here in the ninth. A right-hander. Kingery in the game was 0 for 3, so he was very uninspiring there. So they will try a new bat, John Christensen, and we'll get his numbers on the replay. He is hitting 282, a homer and 4 driven in 39 at-bats. So John Christensen trying to spark something for the Mariners. 1-7, but he will spark a strikeout. That's a strikeout for Rags, and now we're down to Ray Quinones. Quinones was a 276 hitter on the season, so no sense pinch hitting for him. He's 1 for 3, but he was a 276 hitter. That's better than what they have on the bench. 1-6, and he's going to strike out. Righetti will get the K and end the ball game, and the Yankees win it by the score of 4-2 over the Mariners. Righetti will pick up his 10th save of the season. The winning pitcher is Bob Shirley. The loser will be Bankhead, who will drop to 2-4. Righetti, 1 inning, giving up nothing, striking out 2. So for the Mariners, we have 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. For the Yankees, 4 runs, 9 hits, and 1 error. And again, the winner is Shirley. So we'll go to the computer and get all the final numbers to wrap this thing up and get ready for the Angels in Baltimore tomorrow morning. So the Yankees, with the win, go to 29-16. And the Mariners, with the loss, drop to 16-29. Shirley now is 4-1 on the replay with that win. Righetti with his 10th save. Bankhead drops to 2-4. Pick your favorite player as to who gets the player of the game. Bob Shirley's a good candidate. 3 shutout innings in relief. He came in when the score was tied at 2-2 and shut down the Mariners the rest of the way, him and Righetti. So could give it to him, could give it to Henderson for his 2-run homer that gave him the lead. Could give it to Ward, but Ward only had 1 hit. Could give it to Winfield. He was 2 for 4 with the home run that sealed it here in the 8th inning. So there's a lot of different candidates there. Pick your favorite. But with the victory, Yankees are now 29-16, and we'll check out the standings up to the minute. With this win, the Yankees now are only a half game out of first place. They are 29-16. They actually have more wins than anybody, but they have 2 extra losses. Toronto's 28-14. Milwaukee is 26-14. So lots of games to be made up there. But the game tomorrow will feature the California Angels and Mike Witt against Scott McGregor and the Baltimore Orioles. And then on Wednesday, we will have the Blue Jays as they host the Oakland A's. Not a great pitching matchup by any means. Moose Haas against Joe Johnson. And then on Thursday, we are looking at Kansas City and Chicago from Comiskey Park. And we'll be looking at Charlie Lebrand against Rich Dotson. And then on Friday, we're going to have Milwaukee at Minnesota, Bill Wegman against Frank Viola. So that will be the schedule there. The 1 game left, I'll play offline. That's going to be Texas and Detroit. Mike Lloyd against Jack Morris. I'll play that one offline. But the rest of the schedule for the rest of the week, we got Baltimore and California tomorrow. We have Oakland and Toronto on Wednesday. We have Kansas City, Chicago on Thursday, and we have Milwaukee, Minnesota on Friday. That'll be the schedule for this 87 replay. And then we'll come back next Monday. We'll be on May the 28th. And when we get to May the 28th, it's pretty much the same teams playing each other, just different pitching matchups. And we'll figure out there. We got 5 games, so I'll play all 5 of them during that week, all 5, because there's 5 games and get to play them all. So the one teams that won't be playing each other are Detroit and Texas. So they have that game off, the day off that game. So won't be doing that one. But we will be doing all of the rest of them. So thank you all for spending part of your day with us, part of your morning, starting the week with us. And also, if you are so inclined or interested, like I said, the 2025 playoffs in the Major League Baseball are going on, the ALCS and NLCS. And I do have, it's just a sample, but I do have all the teams created. And this is the Milwaukee Brewers that I've created for History Maker Baseball. And I will be playing the World Series, whoever happens to make it, whether it's the Brewers, the Dodgers, Mariners, or the Blue Jays. I will be playing that right after I finish doing the season ticket world, or right after when this World Series gets going on. When I finish the season ticket World Series, which is going to finish either tomorrow night or Wednesday night, then we'll be back on the Demolition League until we get to the World Series there, and we'll pick up with History Maker Baseball replaying, and the next day replaying the World Series games. So that's what's on the agenda. But for now, I want to thank you all for spending part of your Monday morning with me. Thank you especially to Kathy for those emoji questions. That was certainly a different take on the trivia, and not really sure why YouTube canceled out that one other one, but they have their philosophies, I guess. I don't know. But I do thank everybody else for being here also, making it all. It's a kind of a family affair, as they say, community affair, I guess we call it. So it's much better with the whole community involved, or a lot of the community involved, instead of me just sitting here by myself doing it. So I do appreciate everyone taking the time on Monday morning to stop by and to be a part of that. So until next time, which for me is going to be tomorrow morning, we'll be in Baltimore, California Angels against the Baltimore Orioles. That'll be at 9:00 tomorrow morning. That'll be the next showing on the channel. Until then, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road. Yankees top Seattle 4-2.